that in despair lost fortunes deplore, light of but shame disclosed. Never may my walls be even, since pity is fled, and tears and sighs and groans, my weary days of all joys have been deprived. From the highest spire of contentment, my fortune is thrown, and fear and grief and pain for my deserts, are my hopes since hope is gone. Hark, you shadows that in darkness dwell, learn to contemplate. Happy they that in hell learn not the world's despite. Hark, you shadows that in darkness dwell, learn to contemplate. Happy they that in hell feel not the world's disclosed.
Thank you, Joel. Amazing. Another round of applause for that incredible song. So much talent in the room already. There you go. Yay, wolf whistle. More. Terrific. Hey everyone, I'm Carolyn. I work with Wendy. I've had the great pleasure of working with Wendy for quite a number of years, and not that she looks a day older than the day we met. I do, of course, but fabulous. But she seems to have produced many, many novels over that time, so yay Wendy. Which brings us to our fabulous occasion today. So welcome to this incredibly exciting afternoon as we celebrate the launch of Wendy's thought-provoking and incredibly gripping, really, really gripping, you will find out, new novel. There we go. All manner of things. So we'll start with an acknowledgement of country after that lovely work from Joel. I would like to acknowledge the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, who are the traditional custodians of the land in which we stand. I would also like to pay respects to the Wurundjeri elders, past, present and emerging, and extend this respect to any Aboriginal and Torres Strait people from other communities who may be with us here today. Thank you. So this is Wendy's fourth novel, and I'm sure she's got a few more in the drawer. but this is the fourth published novel. And as one of her reviewers noted, it's arguably her strongest yet. And what an absolutely unputdownable read. I think my partner said to me, I'm tired of you calling me go away, because every time I walk in that room when you're reading her book, you're like, go away, go away. It's like, do I need to change my name? I'm like, no, that's fine. He's like, so I said to Wendy earlier, I think he'd like you to not write another one, but no, please do. So from the ominous note of the opening page onwards, we're absolutely spellbound by the twists and turns of the Tudor world as kings and queens strategise for power, peace and war, watch dodgy deals go very bad, and use women, children and family and friendships as pawns through which to build or divide empires. Great. You'll be hooked just on that alone, I'm sure. And throughout friendships and throughout the novel, we longingly really relate to the protagonists. Wendy has drawn incredibly strong characters in Maria and Catalina, and we're just dying for them to find the respect, love and purpose that they so desire amongst a world that treats them as objects and objects of trade, as women were at that time. So start reading the novel and you will disappear for days, and then you can revisit her other novels whose characters and worlds interconnect across her various works, and then you'll disappear for weeks. So there you go. And you too can say to your family, go away. So it goes without saying that Wendy's ability to bring history to life is an exquisite gift. Not only has she clearly spent hours, a lifetime, and many of our lifetimes at times, I'm sure, researching the in and outs of daily Tudor life and the life moments of historical figures we meet in her novel. She also vividly imagines the sounds, smells, tastes and sensations of this long-gone world. We feel when we read it, the lavender rushes that line the floors beneath our own feet, smell the rose water and mint of the freshly washed bodies that she speaks of in her novel, and we feel the stickiness of the privy waste underfoot. Great scene. You'll find out. Spoiler alert. We simply really want to be there with, and we feel like we are there beside Maria as she moves through this world of England that's as foreign to her as it is to us as readers. And as she watches the young, alluring and dangerous Henry VIII grow up and take the crown. Now, if you didn't know that was going to happen, you need to leave the room, because I think that Wendy set that up a fair amount in her other works. So not only do you learn when you read Wendy's works, you also vividly live in their world. And another thing that Wendy does so well in this book, and in all her novels, of course, is to free the voices of women so that their stories can be told, and be told with heartbreaking and triumphant truth. This is the heart of Wendy's novel, all her novels, and I think this is the heart of Wendy herself. The belief that women and their experiences and knowledge should be respected, and that their battles against the power structures that oppress them and that oppress others that stand beside them should be made visible and vivid so that they can be called out, no matter what the time, no matter what the era. And call them out Wendy does. In all manner of things, women are pawns used to unite houses and countries, the bone fought over, as Wendy so astutely puts it. They are promised brides from their infant years and are schooled from then onwards to perform their duties as queens, companions and wives. They are told that the duty and loyalty is valued above all else, and that the failure to deliver a live heir or to save another through, for instance, the character Maria's skills in herbal medicine will haunt their dreams and lives if they are not carried out. The women are constantly betrayed by the powerful men around them, the fathers who send their daughters off overseas into marriages so that they can unite countries and unite families to bring more power, kill their beloved husbands, great fathers, their priests and their confessors who demand their secrets and then use them against them, their husbands who are irresponsible to them when they're pregnant and discard them when the children perish, the king who moves Catalina and Maria from estate to estate without warning, like pawns on the chessboard, and who are then left in limbo when the deals go bad. Their desperation, Catalina and Maria's desperation, to escape their constraints with dignity and honour is even visible in Wendy's delicate portrayal of their clothing. The female characters are often seen straining to navigate past the edges of their bonnets that might limit their view and to loosen the bands of clothing that press into their neck and bodies. Wendy's subtext is exquisite throughout, and you will see this when you read. But amongst all the incredibly gripping plot twists and betrayals of the story sits the beautiful and memorable heart-driven friendship of two women who are cousins, but bond like sisters. They protect each other by revealing truths but they also hold back truths from each other, reminding each other to be strong when they feel all is lost. And and comforting each other as they deal with the realities and their lives not being their own. You will not want to leave them behind when the closing scenes occur, but be reassured they'll live in your memory as friends that you wish were yours. So I want to close by sharing that Wendy's writing skill is not contained to each of her novels. She is an incredibly generous mentor to so many writers, many of whom are in this room. And some may be just beginning their journey and unsure of their skills, others further down the road, but she has helped each and every one. And I don't know how she juggles this amazing writing, the incredible teaching that she does, the amazing reading and research she will clearly need to do for these incredible books, and managing her loving family that gives her so much joy beyond all other things. But she does, and she does it magnificently and with grace. I have learned much from her work, and I look forward to learning more. And I really encourage you to jump into this book, clear a couple of days, because it will immerse you. Wendy. I'll hand it over to the genius in residence.
Oh my goodness, wow. I don't think how am I supposed to follow that? Oh, guys, wow. Thank you everybody for coming today in our strange COVID world, which all this week I was sort of thinking to myself, all right, Wendy, it's okay. If it gets cancelled, you actually are joining a group of wonderful writers that ended up having all their launches cancelled last year. It's okay, it's fine, and we'll all survive. But here we are, and thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate that. Everybody in this room has been important to my writing life in some way, whether it's by encouraging me, supporting me. My husband has put up with lots of books all through the years of our marriage life. As you can imagine, with all the years that we've been married, every time we've moved house, I think the last time we moved house, he said, I think I'd rather be dead than ever do that again. So I've got more books now, so so thank you so much. You are truly the wind beneath my wings. I could not write without support, encouragement, and thank you everybody who's been part of the fundraiser that I did last year, because that was such a confidence builder. I'm just going to do 5 minutes of a reading, and my son is sort of saying, that's enough, Mother. I can see that now. And so just 5 minutes of, and I'll take my glasses off because I actually read better without my glasses on. I'm short-sighted. And thank you, Joel. That song was amazing, absolutely amazing. And when I read the words, even though it's from 1570, it is so descriptive of what the Tudors lived through. All right, so like I said, short reading. This is the prologue of All Manner of Things, so I'm going to start. When I investigate, and when I discover that the forces of the heavens and the planets are within ourselves, then I truly seem to be living among the gods, Aberti. Daylight began to ebb, pulling back like the tidal Thames. Maria put down her unused quill and rose from her seat to light the candles in the tiny room she used for her private study. Returning to her writing desk, she half twisted in her seat to peer out at the window at the oak trees in her garden. The trees, brushed by falling snow, seemed dreamlike through the thick glass, their bare branches darkening to almost black in the dim light of day. The fire burned bright and hungry in the nearby hearth, but still she shivered. She shook herself and gathered her old mantle closer. But I've been cold for years. Ignoring the hard seat and the whine and the whistle of winter wind, she gazed back at the cream-coloured parchment on her slanted writing desk, the shape of her uncovered head casting its shadow on the parchment. Its barrenness taunted her, confronted her. It challenged her to begin. Maria sighed, glancing at the seal of the Barony of Willoughby beside the full inkwell placed at the top of her desk. She leaned forward, caressing the seal with the tip of her index finger. Her beloved husband, dead these 12 years and more, had given it to her on their wedding day. Now the seal seemed to wait for her, to write this letter to their daughter. It would be her truth. In these desolate days, it was the only truth left to her, the only truth which mattered. She picked up the quill and with practiced skill, stroked out the first words, pausing to dip her nib to re-ink it. Written at my London home on St. Agatha's Day, in the 27th year of the reign of Henry VIII, for my daughter, the Duchess of Suffolk. Daughter, my Catalina, I write this letter to request a boon of you. Death comes for me and I welcome it. Daughter, do not pen back a letter mocking me or entreating me to say otherwise. I have studied medicine too long not to know the signs, and I do welcome them. I have seen 53 winters, and I do not ever decide to see another. I am weary, not with age, but with grief. But before I die, I want you to understand, nay, I need you to understand why our lives have turned out as they have. I need to tell you my story, but it's not just my story. From the beginning, the threads of my life have been woven with that of my beloved Queen's. Maria wiped away tears, hating her weakness. These days saw her cry too easily. She looked again at the letter. What she wrote now would either make her daughter understand at last her life and the choices she had made, or fail again to breach the wall built between them since Catalina's marriage to Charles Brandon. The girl, well taught, wore a happy face to others, but behind closed doors it was a different story. Her daughter's bitter words before her wedding rang out again in Maria's ears. You promised me I would wed Harry. I never thought you'd be so wicked, so unkind as to make me marry a man old enough to be my grandsire. She should never have made that promise. She should have known better than to trust Suffolk to care for her daughter's welfare. She should have remembered her own life and its hard lessons. On the stool beside her desk, a carefully tied bundle of letters awaited the addition of her own. Returned from the grandchildren of Latina, her long-ago teacher, these letters too would need to be sent for her daughter's eyes. Most of the letters she had written to Latina were in this bundle. Letters written from her 16th year to before Latina's death 3 years ago. Glancing at her unfinished letter, Maria wondered if it would be her last. Already it was proving one of her hardest to write. No, I cannot fail again. I refuse to fail. This letter will make my daughter understand the little power women have over their lives. She re-inked her quill and for a time scratched her pen with purpose down the parchment. Her fingers cramped. Maria laid down her quill to rest her hand and stared sightlessly out the window. She could no longer hear the voice of the wind. Apart from the occasional crackle and pop of the fire, the room stayed silent except for her memories. They flickered and danced in the fire's flame. So that's the prologue, and thank you so much again for coming today. It's been lovely to see everybody. I'll speak to you later.